doing her makeup forever and doing our kids' hair and doing her hair and making sure everybody.
Robyn's $32,000 credit card scandal has resurfaced, and this time the other wives are allegedly demanding every penny back. It's the money mystery involving the sister wives that never really went away, and now it's making a dramatic comeback. Whispers of repayment demands are swirling, private documents are emerging, and a quiet storm is gathering, threatening to break into the open. For those who still feel the heat when they hear Robyn Brown's name, get ready. This story is about to fuel the fire even more.
And then Cody would sit there and praise how they looked when we'd been sweating and slaving over the freaking food and cleaning up the campsite. I think that's probably the reason I hated camping so bad.
Multiple insider leaks are now exposing what was once brushed off as family business, dragging the infamous charge out of the shadows. And according to reports, several of the women, particularly Janelle and Christine, are no longer willing to overlook it. As one source close to the Browns put it, they paid, Robyn didn't, and now they want it back. Let's take a step back. The scandal first caught attention years ago when a private family financial conversation allegedly revealed that Robyn had run up a credit card bill of $32,000. The charges, a mix of household upgrades, child-related expenses, and what one source described as discretionary decor, were at the heart of it all.
Cody and Robyn don't just get to benefit from things that I contributed to.
Here's the twist. Word on the street is that Robyn didn't pay off the bill herself. Instead, it was absorbed by the family fund, which at the time was still partially funded by all the wives. That meant Christine, Janelle, and even Meri were unknowingly chipping in to pay off a debt they never agreed to. And this wasn't some one-time slip-up. The balance allegedly built up over months, possibly even longer, and some of the wives didn't realize the full extent of it until later. Now, the word is out. The women have had enough. One insider claims there was a quiet understanding to let it slide for the sake of the show. But now that they're all financially independent, Christine and Janelle are reportedly comparing notes, and they're furious. And here's where things get really interesting. Sources say one of them is preparing to confront Robyn, not with emotions, but with cold, hard math. There's talk of a breakdown sheet, a line-by-line statement detailing every dollar she allegedly charged and exactly how much each wife contributed to cleaning up the mess.
Never knew what the other wives were getting money-wise. We just understood what we had, but Janelle saw it all. And Janelle doesn't say much, and she's very tight-lipped, but she's like, I saw where all the money was going.
One rumor even suggests that Christine might be preparing a formal refund request, interest included for all those years. And she may be gearing up to bring receipts, actual receipts. But here's the kicker. These whispers aren't staying behind closed doors anymore. Producers are reportedly aware of the rising tension and are debating whether to weave it into the next season or keep it off camera. Robyn, for her part, is said to be blindsided by this resurrection of old drama, feeling like she's being unfairly targeted, though she hasn't commented publicly yet. But Janelle? She might not give her that luxury for much longer. If the rumors are true, she's not just mad, she's making moves. And that's when things took a wild turn. When the original credit card charges first came to light, a Brown family didn't erupt in outrage. It was silence. Sources say there was no dramatic confrontation, no group decision, not even a formal discussion. Instead, Cody allegedly stepped in as the mediator, brushing it all off as a temporary imbalance. One insider claims he even told the wives something like, "We'll sort it out later. What matters is our unity." But behind the scenes, that so-called unity had a price tag, and it landed squarely on Janelle and Christine's shoulders. At the time, they were still contributing to the family's shared fund. Whispers have been circulating that Cody quietly instructed the family accountant to cover Robyn's charges using their shared funds, with no clear intention of repaying anyone. And that's where things start to get uncomfortable. The women didn't even find out about the full $32,000 balance all at once. It began with Christine noticing large, unexplained withdrawals from the communal accounts she had access to. Janelle picked up on the same discrepancies and asked for clarity, but was told it was for the greater good of the family. As for Meri, rumors say she was kept almost completely in the dark until it was too late for her to step in. They were all told not to make a big deal of it, a source reveals, because tensions were already high, and they didn't want to appear fractured on camera. So instead of confronting the issue openly, the wives were allegedly guilted into letting it slide. But here's what viewers never saw. Christine demanded a formal ledger. She wanted to know exactly what had been spent, where, and by whom. What she got, however, was a vague summary of household upgrades, no itemized details, which only made her more suspicious and more determined to keep track of everything moving forward. Janelle, always the numbers person, reportedly started her own personal accounting file, tracking every shared expense she had paid for that never got reimbursed. The total amount, though unverified, is said to now exceed $40,000. And here's where it gets truly stinging: the timeline. Some of those charges came during a time when Christine and Janelle were cutting coupons, picking up side jobs, and scraping together money for their kids' school fees, while Robyn was allegedly redecorating. One close friend of the women put it bluntly: they were struggling, but Robyn wasn't. And no one said anything. That silence, it's now what the women called the ultimate betrayal, because it wasn't just about money, it was about trust. And just when it seemed like the truth might stay buried, whispers started to spread that new documents exist, documents that prove Robyn's share of the debt was never repaid and that, in fact, she may have never intended to repay it. According to someone who claims to have seen them, it was always treated as a family gift. That's what set Janelle off. For years, she had played the quiet, steady team player, the one who kept the spreadsheets while everyone else dealt with drama. But if the whispers are true, that reputation shattered when Janelle had had enough of footing Robyn's bills and pretending it was okay. A close friend says her patience didn't just wear thin, it snapped. Now, Janelle's reportedly taking a stand with something far more powerful than words: a formal repayment demand. It's not about revenge, the friend explains. It's about respect. And for Janelle, that means financial accountability. Sources say it wasn't one big thing that caused her to act. It was death by 1,000 withdrawals. Janelle is reportedly combing through years of bank records, calculating exactly how much she's contributed to the family fund versus what she's gotten back. And when the final numbers were tallied, her jaw allegedly dropped. Her contributions, insiders claim, weren't just higher than expected. They were nearly double Robyn's. That stung. But what truly pushed her over the edge was discovering through text exchanges that Robyn might have never planned to repay the $32,000. One unverified message reportedly read, "It was a household expense we all benefit from," to which Janelle allegedly replied, "Not from your throw pillows." The sarcasm was biting, but so was the fury. Friends say Janelle has since drafted a 2-page letter outlining every cent she's owed, with due dates and interest calculations. One source even claims she used legal language to make it clear this wasn't a request, it was a bill. While the letter hasn't been made public, insiders whisper that its tone is unexpectedly professional. Firm, but not emotional. Janelle doesn't want to fight. She wants fairness. And if she can't get that from Cody, sources say she's going straight to Robyn. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Word is that Meri might have gotten a copy of that letter too, not as a target but as a quiet ally. Apparently, Janelle added a CC line at the bottom, including Meri without warning. It was her way of signaling, "You deserve to see this." After all, Meri had also contributed to the family fund during those years. And while she's never been as outspoken as Christine or as detail-oriented as Janelle, insiders say she's been quietly keeping her own tally. Now that letter is reportedly circulating behind the scenes, causing panic. Producers are said to be aware that Cody is furious, and Robyn's sources claim she's gone silent. She never saw this coming. One insider explained that she thought Janelle would grumble and move on. She didn't expect Janelle to come armed with spreadsheets and legal language. And just when Robyn thought it couldn't get worse, Meri started making calls of her own. Meri has always been the emotional wild card in the Brown family. Withdrawn, guarded, sometimes defensive, but never completely out of the loop. Now, insiders say, she started reevaluating just how much loyalty she owes Robyn. While Meri might not have spoken up during the original credit card scandal, the tension never really left her. Now, with Janelle's repayment letter in her hands, Meri is no longer just watching from the sidelines. She's doing the math quietly, and for once, she's not keeping her findings to herself. She may not be the one to confront anyone directly, but she's certainly calculating. Meri knows exactly how much she's put into the family fund, and she's not letting that go unnoticed. The timing couldn't be more sensitive. With her B&B struggling to stay afloat, especially after tourism dipped and costs rose, Meri has reportedly begun reconsidering every dollar that left her account to fund someone else's luxury. One friend claims she recently dug through old account records, going over every penny she contributed during the years when Robyn's $32,000 bill was silently covered. The number she came up with was just over $8,000, and she feels none of it was spent with her consent. That amount, according to the friend, could have kept her business running for another season. Now, Meri's realizing no one ever asked her for permission to use that money. But true to form, she's not rushing to confront anyone. That's never been her way. Instead, sources say she's quietly consulting with a financial advisor, a friend of a friend, to figure out whether any of those shared expenses are legally challengeable or can at least be documented for future protection. And here's the twist. One tipster claims that Meri recently made a discreet call to a lawyer in Arizona, not to file anything just yet, but to better understand her options. When asked if it was connected to the credit card issue, the source smiled and said, "Let's just say it wasn't about expanding the inn. There's another layer." Robyn has always seen Meri as her most loyal ally, the one wife who consistently had her back, even when the others pulled away. If Robyn finds out that Meri is asking questions, let alone seeking legal advice, it could trigger a full-blown emotional crisis. Robyn doesn't handle feelings of betrayal well, says one family insider. If Meri turns on her, it might hurt even more than Christine and Janelle's outrage combined. The truth is, Meri may already be emotionally distancing herself. One insider slurs she's been journaling, possibly working on a memoir. Another claims she's been asking producers if she's obligated to continue filming with Robyn. But the most shocking revelation, Meri may have secretly joined forces with Christine and Janelle in tracking every communal debt on a shared spreadsheet. And as it turns out, Christine may be ready to blow the lid off the whole situation. Christine, the first wife to walk away from the marriage, packed up her dignity and chose a new path on her own terms. But just because she left the marriage doesn't mean she left the mess behind. According to insiders, she's been sitting on a goldmine of proof, receipts, bank statements, and screenshots she kept as insurance. Now, she's reportedly preparing to make those documents public. Christine, known for her warmth and loyalty, isn't one to stir the pot, but when she suspected that Robyn had been taking advantage, she quietly began collecting evidence. She started taking screenshots of joint statements, highlighting unusual withdrawals, and requesting detailed monthly breakdowns from the financial coordinator. She didn't do it to stir trouble, says one friend. She did it because something didn't feel right, and she didn't want to be gaslit again. Those screenshots, according to unverified sources, show Robyn's name directly tied to certain charges, with Christine's contributions used to cover them, including luxury home goods, high-end clothing, and a payment simply labeled family services. Balance forward. The kicker? Rumors say Christine plans to leak some of these documents during her upcoming book tour, not as a malicious attack, but to make a broader point about financial independence and fairness. She doesn't want to destroy Robyn, the insider explained, but if Robyn continues to act like nothing's wrong, Christine might force the issue into the spotlight. Fans are already speculating that a reveal is coming soon. At a recent signing event, when a fan asked Christine if she regretted contributing to the family fund, Christine smiled and responded, "Let's just say I've learned my lesson and I kept the paperwork." That quote has since gone viral online. Behind the scenes, producers are reportedly scrambling. Christine's book contract includes a clause about not revealing protected show content, but her camp argues these financial records are personal, not production-related. She paid those bills out of her own pocket. One friend emphasized that if Christine wants to speak about it, no one can stop her. But it's clear this could have consequences. TLC is allegedly reviewing its legal options, particularly if Christine's disclosures cause complications or lead to on-camera confrontations with Robyn that were never planned. And as for Robyn, sources say she's already panicking. She's reportedly calling everyone. One insider revealed that Cody's trying to figure out what Christine has, how much she plans to expose, and whether it can be stopped. But it may already be too late for damage control because the receipts are real. And Christine? She's done staying quiet. As for Cody, he's watching it all unfold with his financial situation in crisis mode. Cody Brown has always projected an image of confidence when it comes to money. Big dreams, big land, a big vision. But behind the scenes, sources say the reality is far less stable. One source close to the family claims that Cody's cash flow isn't just tight, it's fragile. With Christine allegedly threatening to leak receipts, Janelle demanding repayment, and Meri crunching her own numbers, the cracks in his financial foundation are widening fast. Add to that a shrinking TLC paycheck, split across fewer wives than ever, and what you get is a man scrambling to hold together a lifestyle that no longer makes sense. Let's break down the numbers. Cody's Cameo side hustle, which once brought in thousands every month, has reportedly slowed to a trickle. Bookings have dipped, interest has waned, and fans who once paid for birthday shoutouts now seem more interested in watching the drama unfold for free on social media. Meanwhile, his portion of the sister wife's paycheck after taxes, agent cuts, and what one insider called separate living costs for Robyn's castle isn't going as far as it used to. Rumor has it he's missed at least one private school payment and has quietly deferred a vehicle lease in recent months. Then there's Coyote Pass, the land he once considered the family's future. That plot alone now allegedly carries over $300,000 in unresolved development costs. Insiders claim Cody has looked into refinancing but was turned down due to inconsistent income streams. He thought the wives would all be paying in, one source explained. But they're not his wives anymore, and they're not his problem. So when Janelle's demand letter arrived, followed by whispers of Christine going public, Cody didn't lash out. He panicked. Some say he called Robyn into the kitchen for an emergency meeting. The goal? To find out if there's any chance Robyn could quietly repay some of that $32,000 bill herself, just to shut it all down before it hits the headlines. But here's the twist. Robyn allegedly pushed back. She's long claimed that the spending wasn't personal, but family-based. And according to insiders, she told Cody that paying it back now would look like an admission of guilt, and that, I say, might have been the final straw. One tipster close to production claims that Cody recently drafted a proposal, a written suggestion that each wife formally waive past financial grievances in exchange for final separation terms. The proposal allegedly included clauses about mutual silence, non-disparagement, and a clean break clause tied to potential upcoming tell-alls. Unsurprisingly, no one signed it. In fact, Janelle reportedly laughed when she saw it. Christine allegedly called it a bribe wrapped in fancy fonts. Meanwhile, Cody is said to be considering the nuclear option, liquidating part of Coyote Pass to settle his debts and move on. But even that might not be enough, because Robyn has her own plan now, and it's not about paying anyone back. It's about flipping the narrative entirely. If Cody's instinct was to manage the situation through legal proposals and financial reshuffling, Robyn's alleged response couldn't have been more different. According to sources close to the family, Robyn is gearing up for an emotional PR makeover. Not through lawyers, not through refunds, but through a carefully crafted charity stunt designed to reframe her image as the misunderstood matriarch rather than the villain with a $32,000 debt trail. And if the whispers are true, this move may already be in motion, with producers on high alert and the other wives rolling their eyes behind the scenes. Insiders claim Robyn has been quietly planning a film segment where she announces a personal donation to a children's education fund, something touching, noble, and family-oriented. The amount? $10,000, allegedly earmarked from her personal income. On the surface, it looks like generosity, but when you break it down, critics are calling it a diversion tactic. She's not paying back what she owes, one source pointed out. She's trying to buy good press with less than a third of what she allegedly spent. The numbers don't lie. A $10,000 donation sounds significant until you compare it to the $32,000 unpaid balance that may have drained communal funds from 3 other women, 2 of whom were struggling financially at the time. Here's the kicker. Robyn reportedly plans to tie this donation into a segment about moving forward with love and unity, but insiders close to production claim Christine and Janelle were neither notified nor consulted, and they are livid. One insider said Christine privately vented, "I help you," left double quotation mark, trying to clean her conscience on camera while still pretending we were never her predators. Meanwhile, Janelle's reaction? Allegedly a single word text to Meri, left double quotation mark. Some believe she's convinced this gesture will win over viewers, especially those who still see her as a devoted mother just trying to keep the family intact. Others think it will backfire big time. She's basically lighting a match on a powder keg, said a friend of one of the kids. People want accountability, not charity optics. With fan forums already buzzing about possible manipulation, the backlash may come faster and louder than she expects. As for Cody, he's reportedly on board with the idea, calling it a great way to reset the energy. But one crew member, allegedly muttering under their breath during filming prep, wasn't quite as convinced. The energy doesn't need a reset, it needs a refund. Whether the segment will air remains up in the air. Producers are reportedly weighing the potential fallout. If they push it through, they risk reigniting the fan backlash that's already building. If they scrap it, Robyn loses her last chance to soften the narrative before Christine's alleged receipts see the light of day. Meanwhile, just off camera, fans are already sickling, posting, screenshotting, and organizing. Because the internet doesn't forget, and it's not letting this one go. If Robyn thought a sweet donation and a soft focus camera angle could calm the storm, she miscalculated badly. Fans aren't buying it. Moment the word leaked that Robyn was planning to reset the narrative with a $10,000 donation to a children's education fund, social media erupted, not with applause, but with outrage. Comments flooded in faster than producers could moderate. Hashtags like hashtag Robyn refund now, hashtag receipts please, and hashtag justice for Janelle started trending within hours. By the next morning, over 30,000 posts had flooded Reddit, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, all tearing apart Robyn's attempt to spin a financial scandal into a sympathy story. And it's no longer just about the money. It's about the pattern. Longtime fans have spent over a decade watching Christine, Janelle, and even Meri stretch their budgets, while Robyn's house stayed polished and fully stocked. Now, with unverified receipts and alleged payment breakdowns circulating, viewers are starting to connect some ugly dots. One viral post pointed out that Robyn's $10,000 donation was less than what she allegedly spent on just one doll room. Another user claimed to have screenshotted a moment from an old season where Cody promised to reimp money. Women in the fan base, especially those over 50, are seeing their own stories reflected in the financial sacrifices of the wives. They remember stretching grocery budgets, working overtime, and keeping their families afloat while someone else got the credit, or the credit card. One comment, which garnered over 12,000 likes, read, "Janelle had to sleep in an RV and Robyn was shopping for matching sofas. I'm not letting this go." Another user said, "This is what emotional able theft looks like. Pay them back." Even Meri, who's been a divisive figure among viewers, is getting unexpected support. Her BNB's Yelp page reportedly saw a spike in 5-star reviews overnight, with comments like, "We believe you, and let them call you bitter. You deserve better." Meanwhile, Janelle and Christine's fan pages are experiencing what one moderator called a digital revival. The tone has shifted from nostalgia to mobilization. There's real momentum now behind the idea that TLC owes these women, and Robyn's silence only proves the guilt. And just when it seemed like things couldn't escalate any further, one bombshell dropped. A verified fan account on Instagram claimed to have access to unreleased footage from season 17. Footage that allegedly includes a tense off-camera moment where Robyn and Cody discuss hiding the true cost of her spending from the others. There's been no official confirmation yet, but that hasn't stopped fans from demanding answers. TLC has issued no comment, Robyn's representatives remain silent, and the cast is staying radio silent. For now. One Phoenix-based attorney who spoke under anonymity broke it down this way. Left double quotation mark. If someone benefited at your expense and there's proof, they could be held liable, especially if they never intended to pay it back. That term, unjust enrichment, has reportedly come up in more than one private consultation. And in Arizona, where at least some of the financial intermingling took place, the courts have been known to side with plaintiffs in informal family disputes when the documentation is compelling. But legal action isn't the only storm on the horizon. There's also talk of discovery, a pivotal phase in any lawsuit where both sides are forced to hand over their records. And that's where Robyn could face an entirely new nightmare. If Christine or Janelle files, even in small claims court, Robyn might be legally obligated to disclose her full spending history, including the breakdown of that $32,000 bill. Not just the furniture or decor, but every single dollar, every charge, every date. As one source close to production put it, if that ever sees daylight, it could reshape how fans see Robyn forever. Producers are reportedly in panic mode. A lawsuit, especially one involving ex-wives, would force TLC into an uncomfortable position, either film the fallout or ignore it entirely. Both choices come with serious risks. Cody, for his part, is allegedly trying to mediate behind the scenes, hoping to quiet everything down. Insiders say his credibility with the women is shot. They're not looking for his permission anymore. One friend of Janelle said, "They're looking for resolution." And unless Robyn acts quickly, that resolution might come in the form of court papers, served on camera or off. As the legal dust starts to swirl, the stage is set for a final confrontation that's been building for years. The cameras are being cleaned, the lights tested, and if the rumors are right, TLC is prepping for the moment that's quietly been building for years, a face-to-face reckoning between the original wives and Robyn Brown. No more passive-aggressive digs, No more confessional nods. This is shaping up to be the kind of confrontation that won't just shift a narrative, it could end an era. According to production sources, Christine and Janelle have both agreed to a financial transparency summit, filmed at a neutral location, possibly Meri's B&B. The catch: no ambushes allowed. Insiders say what's coming isn't about surprises, it's about receipts. And Robyn, she may finally be cornered. The big question now is whether Robyn will show up or send a statement instead. Sources say she's gone silent, strategizing with Cody, debating whether appearing on camera, amid fan backlash and alleged legal whispers, is worth the risk. But if she doesn't show up, that absence could speak louder than any explanation. Fans are done with excuses. One longtime viewer posted, "If she's got nothing to hide, she'll sit down and open her books. Otherwise, guilt confirmed." The buzz around this confrontation is already sparking viewing party threads, countdown clocks, and even fan petitions asking TLC to release the full footage to the public. And then there's Meri, the wild card. Some say she's preparing to mediate. Others claim she may finally throw a curveball, standing up for herself for the first time in years, naming the exact dollar amounts she lost, and releasing her grip on the Loyal One label. What's clear is this: Meri is no longer holding her tongue. Whether she sides with Robyn, calls for restitution, or walks away entirely, viewers are ready to follow her lead. Christine, for her part, is reportedly bringing a small manila folder full of spreadsheets, emails, and annotated bank statements. Janelle, rumor has it, is bringing the original letter, the one Robyn never answered, the one with a due date, and now, with interest. And as the women circle back to the same table they once shared as sister wives, the mood is no longer sisterly. It's surgical, precise, long overdue. Because this isn't about pettiness, it's about principle. And it's not just about Robyn's $32,000 credit card. It's about the hundreds of sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the silence, and the realization that maybe, just maybe, the favoritism everyone sensed was something much worse: financial exploitation, disguised as family unity. Now, viewers want your take. Do you believe Robyn will ever pay back what she allegedly owes? And should Christine and Janelle take legal action if she refuses? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're watching closely. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more behind-the-scenes fallout as this story continues to unravel. The next video on your screen is waiting, and trust me, you won't want to miss it.